Okay, welcome entrepreneurs, and thank you so much for making the time to join me this morning. Um, we're not gonna waste time on quite a lot of things. The agenda for today is really around a few things. Is to microscope and go to the detail of the implementation, but also guiding you on where to start and what to prioritize and how to prioritize. And then number two is also to provide you with the tools and templates to implement. And number three, and also or deal with some issues that might have arisen before, or maybe even the current challenges you have when it comes to compliance in the matters. Is that okay for everyone? That is the agenda for today, entrepreneurs. Is that okay? Can we proceed? Okay, guys, we can talk. You know, one of the reasons why we want to do group session is because so that we have a smaller group, but it also allow people to engage. Then if it's 90 or 60 of us, you know, then it's difficult to manage and run. So just keep, if you're not in a noisy area, it's quiet, just keep your audio open when you want to chat, when I'm asking questions. But this is aimed to be more interactive. So okay, so that's the agenda we have for today. As just for the opening, let's check in. How have you been? And let's just use the 2 minutes just to get how you have been. How is it going with the reading and making of notes? What is sitting on your action plan? I will start with you, Miss Matlala.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mule. So far, when I was going through the learning material, I've realized that as entrepreneurs, we really do not make time, especially to establish systems, especially around compliance. Because on my side, when I started the business, uh, I think what was on my mind was generating revenue, obviously, but I really had to take a moment to sit and reflect to say, how will I make this business sustainable and profitable? And even at some point, I'm going to need funding. What is it that I need to concentrate on in order for me to achieve that? So compliance has been something that I've been working on, and I've learned a lot because I come from a background of engineering, and compliance was very like it was strict, like it was a must. So even me on the other side becoming an entrepreneur, that was one thing that I was looking on. But as I'm learning, as I'm reading, I'm getting to understand, especially I'm in the food industry, there's a lot that I need to comply with. So I'm actually being enlightened, and again, it's compelling me to start acting on the all the things that I need to comply, especially as a business.
Okay, Mule, tell me something. In your learning and reading, what are the top 5 action list, guys? Okay, so before Mule goes ahead, guys, I really need you. The purpose of today is the group coaching. So group coaching, I share my notes with you on what you should be prioritizing and how you should be prioritizing. But on your side, you share the notes of what you picked up when you were reading and prioritizing. The members in the group will share their notes. You add those notes on your notes, and they add your notes on your notes, and you also add my notes. And then we have more comprehensive notes of the action list. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so make sure, guys, you've got your notes on your hand ready, as Mule is gonna go through her action list of what she picked up. She's already shared that she really saw that there was a bigger gap than she had anticipated, but she then started learning. As she's learning, she's now gonna share what did she learn and what is the action from what she had learned.
So during my learning, I learned about tax. There was a lot of information that I did not understand about tax and different types of tax, and especially as an entrepreneur, like your EMP 201, your pay as you earn, UIF, your COIDA, how as an employer I need to be compliant with that. So it was something that, you know, as entrepreneurs, we like to outsource without even understanding, because you just relax and say, no, I've got somebody covering this. Even in terms of financial, you get somebody to do it for you. As long as you comply, it doesn't matter. So I really got to learn how everything is applicable to me and what are my responsibilities as a business owner, in understanding that I make sure that my employees, they they have their employment contract, they understand their responsibilities, their job descriptions. I need to profile what is it that they must do, and even like how to calculate their taxes. And you know, it's a lot of things that I'm learning within a short space of time, but I'm taking notes. And like you say, it's precious that we need to understand the foundation of our businesses, in terms of how the things that we need to do in order for us to comply, in order for us to eventually be profitable. So I'm currently reading the manual about compliance, and I see that there's a lot that I need to do. One thing first, I was afraid of VAT. I was afraid of applying for VAT, but now I understand that it will actually help me to understand what will be to understand it better, in terms of how can I use it to help, in fact, contributing towards helping the country or the government collecting its revenue, and how it will improve in my business as well. And yeah, I think so far that's what I can say, and then I'll add as we go.
Thank you so much for sharing. Who else would like to be next on sharing what have they learned, but what is also the action on their side to then work on, and also then to improve in their business? Who else would like to come through? Yes, Tabang, go ahead.
Morning, everyone. I trust you're all well. Well, I've been cruising nicely, I would say.
Because I always worry that the content sometimes might feel too much, especially the first time.
Yeah, no, but it's not really that much. Considering that we are entrepreneurs, and at some point you are everything in your company. One thing that I had struggled with was tax. And what I actually did was to outsource throughout since I've started. Since you need a tax clearance, I've always outsourced anything to do with tax, because I found it so complicated. And when it came to things like paying payee, what I would do is to say, okay, if the person is earning less than 7,000, they don't have to pay this tax. So I didn't even want to pay to declare that it's going to be zero. So I just said there's no tax at all. And then when it comes to doing tax returns, I'll just talk to the bookkeeper and say, look, man, we didn't have any payee, and here's how much we made as the turnover, and this is what we are looking at as the profit. So you can just do your thing, and then I leave it at that. So going forward, what the changes that I'm going to make is to start now looking at all this tax that I have to comply with, everything, and then start applying the necessary procedures and comply accordingly, instead of just saying there's no payee and then it's zero. It's nothing and then I don't declare. So I'll start declaring and I'll start doing everything by myself, and where an accountant or bookkeeper is needed, that's when I'll outsource. Thank you.
Great, perfect. Who's next? Say MT Mpande, please come through.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
No, me from my side, I've gone through the material. Like, I feel a bit small. Like my business is very small, so most of the stuff I see as it does not talk to me, because most of the stuff, like with the compliance, for instance, like me, I've been operating informally most of the time, but I haven't yet registered with some of the compliance stuff. And since I'm managing a very small budget, but I don't really use most of the stuff I do see on the study material. Like so far, like for me, I see there's a lot of stuff like when I go through the material that I haven't yet dealt with as a business. And also like since I'm operating as a one-man business, like most of the stuff, I think it's just, I don't know what to say for now, but it's just that on my side. Yes. Thank you, Precious.
Noted. Is anything that you are struggling with?
No.
Okay.
Everything
When it comes to the implementation. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. Who's next? Louisa, do you want to come through? Looking amazing on that vacation. Did I lose Louise?
Hello.
Hi. Oh, the picture where you are looks so good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Louisa de Silva from Cape Town. I'm a hairdresser business owner. Been in the business for 30 years. And I just want to say I'm hard of hearing. Make use of a cochlear implant that was implanted in me 10 years ago. I do hear you all. Thank God for that. And I'm currently busy to set up a training academy. And I just want to, and I need help with some forecast how to calculate a cost for training for students and that, because I'm currently busy with that at the moment.
Okay.
How to calculate the cost for students with material and that.
Okay, so Louisa, that is very important. We will be covering that on module 7 on how to earn money. However, for now, what you need to focus on is to look at this current business that you are in and start putting a business administration checklist of what needs to be in place on compliance, right? And then you need to then, once you have identified what needs to be done for compliance, you then need to specify, does that need to be done in-house, or does that need to be done by someone, i.e. A consultant? And if once you have done that identification, that in-house, or it will be yourself, or whatever case, or it will be a service provider, you will then cut and paste those things that needs to be done by service providers and then send them to those service providers that you potentially think they can assist you to provide with a quotation. That will then give you the cost of the compliance. You do need to know first, though, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. If you have capacity or no capacity, then if you decide it's outsourcing, you then need to get a quotation, because that quotation, that cost is going to be part of your compliance cost. So it builds up to you costing per course or per product or per student.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is part of the journey. So you need to go back to the drawing board and just make sure everything you're doing it with a fine tooth that is clear. Okay, this is the compliance I need to do daily. This is a compliance, or maybe in your case, because you're in training, you are same as me. Compliance start from attendance. Number 2, it's which means is at the program level. Then number 2, it's also what at on weekly, daily, monthly, annually, and also every 2 years, or a once off. So you need to identify which are those activities. All of you should be expecting an email from Denise, where I have asked her to send you guys the business administration checklist that has the compliance in all the areas at the basic level for startups.
Okay.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, by the way, as I'm coaching individual of you, based on where you are, please take notes also even for yourself. Remember, the purpose of coaching and changing is to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, Kia, you wanna come through?
Yes, please. Good morning, everybody. I'm very well, thank you. Yes, my name is Kia and I am in the food business. Well, I started my company, my business actually in 2020. I actually registered a business in 2020. As far as starting is concerned, this year is the first year that I'm actually trying to gauge or trying to take my first step. So with this course that we are in and the notes that we've had thus far, well, I'm learning quite a bit. And then I see that at least there are a couple of things that I'm in line with in terms of the business and in terms of the duties as far as myself being the director of this business is concerned. However, going broader into the compliance, the tech factors, I'm also getting there slowly. Recently, I had to file my first returns, and even though I'm not trading as yet, but I could understand that one needs to submit anyway. It does not matter whether you're trading, because you need to be compliant as a business. I was not aware of that. I always thought that, because there is no money coming into your business, therefore there is nothing to file at the end of the day. However, I've learned and I'm learning, and within these slides that you had for us, I also learned, things that I need to do in future, like, this month or in the next month, when I start looking for at least one employee, what are the necessities in terms of UIF, in terms of payee, you know, all those things. Yeah, but I'm getting there slowly, but yeah, slowly does it. And I'm getting there.
Great, Sissy. Please don't feel overwhelmed. I know at the beginning it feels like it's a lot, right?
Yes. But I'm one person that I repeating things like reading
Yes. So repeating will help. Listening to the audios over and over. So all of you should be subscribers on that on that YouTube account. Listening to it over and over also will help. But the other thing that you can also do, you can actually convert your lecture notes to be audio and then put it on your phone. So that as you're doing stuff and instead of reading, because reading does take time, whereas listening, you can do it passively.
Yes. Okay. No, noted. I will do that. The app for that, is that the OT? What is the app? OTII? Is that the one?
The app
that turns text into.
Yes, there's lots of them. There's lots of AI where you can convert the text to audio.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Good.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. Yeah. Okay. So who else I have? Hester. Yeah. Next.
Good morning, Precious, and everybody else. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Thank you very much. My name is MT Mpande. I'm the owner CEO of Eastern Cape Maritime and Aquaculture Development Corporation. We were a very young startup company, started in November 2019. So we only had our very one and only session of making a bit of money in December 2019 in the tourism maritime industry when COVID hit us. So we missed out on the April school holidays and Easter weekends bookings, and yeah, it was quite a disaster. So this training program, I'm going to share Tabang's point of view here, because thanks to this program, I already now started doing my own U-filing declarations, which was quite a challenge, but I think I've mastered the U-filing profile so far. I'm still, yeah, that is a challenge by itself, but I think that's where we must all start, is to declare our employees, to make sure that they are all legal on the systems. And what I found is that is exactly where the most cost from my accountant is. And I know exactly why, because U-filing, to teach yourself U-filing and navigate through that system is days, weeks, nights, months. It took me about a week, but I think I've got it. So that's why my accountant is charging me 6,000 Rand a month to do U-filing declarations and then pull everything through to SARS on the EMP 201s and the EMP 501s and all the other part of the documents. But I'm already now busy with e-filing. So I'm looking at the training material and the videos on EMP 201s and EMP 501s.
Okay, guys.
I'm still very, very scared.
Guys, don't be scared. If you are finding difficulty, I can also bring my tax practitioner to actually come and assist you guys.
I was just going to say, yeah, I've made a note here in my book to say e-filing is complicated. I would like to get a one-on-one training session on how to navigate successfully on the SARS system.
Perfect.
I think the fear of SARS is we don't know if you push the wrong button, if you click on the wrong thing, what effects it's going, and it is a nightmare. So yeah, that is a part that we would really love to get more training with, you know, if you can share it on screens and things like that to actually show us, go and click on this button and you cannot make any mistakes or things like that.
So we're gonna organize that, but I will also have a look. You see, pre-COVID, Receiver of Revenue used to provide training workshops. But now, because things have moved to online, I'm gonna check and look if they have not done a recording of the e-filing. I will just do a mini research on that. Is that okay? And also then bring our tax practitioner to actually complement such.
Precious, that is going to be a major milestone for us. I think that's where all of entrepreneurs, our problems lie, because it's easy to tell us get in compliance, but to navigate the government systems, that is a problem, especially at my very advanced age, where I've always, we're very privileged in businesses to have PAs and secretaries and in-house bookkeepers, and you know, we never actually navigated the systems ourselves. So that would be a major, major, major thing for us.
Perfect. That is on my first, the to-do list, number 2. So number 1 was Denise is emailing you guys the administration checklist. Please check that on the email. The purpose of the coaching is for us to go through that and discuss it, but also on the action list that we are working on based on where you are and based on where you should be. Nelson.
Thank you very much.
You've joined at the right time. We're on the last person and then you recently joined. Can you just unmute yourself and say hello to your colleagues? Hi, Nelson. Nelson, please unmute yourself. Okay, he joined, maybe he's struggling with the audio. Okay. Nelson, okay, let me try to. Send him a text. Okay, great. Okay, now we have shared the notes of actions and where we are struggling, but we now also have worked out additional action that we're gonna need to do additional more on the SARS e-filing. Let's get into some of the key templates that we should be discussing in more detail, of which I will also share the links of those. Let's start from, are there entrepreneurs here that have partners or co-directors or co-shareholders?
Yes, I have 2 co-directors and shareholders.
Okay, what's your relationship with your co-shareholders?
We actually, I've got 40% shares in the business, and my youth director has got 30% shares, and then my director for disabled persons and women-head households has got 30% shares. We're all active, we owned, managing our own company. Each one has got their responsibility, but I'm the CEO overlooking all the projects.
Okay, great. Do you have a job description for each of your yourself and your partners?
At this stage, my job description is CEO. Nakumisa is COO, and Veronica is project manager. We just put it project management. She does directorship on different projects that we do.
Okay, my dear. So it seemed to me, based on the information you're providing to me, the organizational structure that you currently have is a little bit skewed. And let me share what I mean. Give me a second. So, when it comes to how you set up with your founders, you should try by all means to build an organizational structure that one puts you as individuals at the directorship level, especially if those individuals that you are partners with are involved in the business. So therefore, there shouldn't be almost like you should set them up first at the directorship level, and then you would then go to the next level, which is the manager's level, and then officer's level or senior officer or supervisor. Let me share how maybe you should think about this as a suggestion. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
So you are the CEO. A CEO will basically be overseeing all these roles and responsibilities based on capacity and skill and time required. You will then allocate the roles and responsibility to those directors, but following these kind of segregation or some sort of functions, right? Does that make sense? So you mentioned that you have called one of the person, they are doing project management, right?
That's correct.
So, but there's another person who's responsible for operations, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you see that you have quite a lot of people on here? Do you realize that?
Yes, I do. I need to delegate. I think I need to delegate.
So you need
I need to do delegation of specific, like there where you say information technology.
Yeah.
I don't have a role player for that yet.
Okay, so
instead of having all my ducks under operations, I need to delegate.
Yes, but before you do that, before you delegate, you're gonna need to assess and make an assessment based on where the business is at right now. What needs to be done under business administration? And then you work that out. Lucky enough, I've just said I've provided you guys with the list for this. Okay, but you need to take this and customize the checklist that Denise is going to send to you guys. You still need to take it and customize it for your business and your environment, right? And then the next thing you need to do, based on the plans and the strategies you have, you then need to look at the business development. What needs to be done there? Who's responsible for that right now? And what will that entail? You're doing the same thing, and then same thing with operation. You then look at the current skills and experience of the directors you have and check who would be more likely to play a role at a business developmental level, who would like to play more role on operation. please keep in mind there is a possibility that someone might be better in marketing, but also better in operation. It just means you're gonna need to prioritize based on the goals the business have set, but make that person to be a second chair or a second person to oversee. So what will happen is, before something get to your normal board meeting or to your management meeting, that specific person will have read the documents from the other section. So you almost like cross reference and cross check each other before the staff gets into the meeting or the board session or a management team. So step number 1, you check the skills and the goals, the things that we want to achieve, the skills that are required to achieve, and then you check your team. Do they have those goals? Who's better in what and why? And can we give them an opportunity? And then we prescribe what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. And then we make sure when someone is good in 2 things that are falling outside of that area, we make that person to read and approve things that are getting sent by the other person. Does that make sense?
Precious, that makes absolutely perfect sense. I think this is where I've had a major problem in my structure, because I try to fulfill all those obligations and override the other 2 directors.
No,
and just put them in smaller.
You guys, you're gonna
portions.
end up fighting.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up fighting at some point. When the stakes are high, you will end up actually closing down your business because you are fighting. Work on the principle. So set them up at a directorship and say, director administration, director business development, director operations. And then if they don't have skills in those areas, don't put them there. If maybe all of your team, there's a possibility that all your team has more skills on operation, then there's a skills gap that all of you need to figure out how to fill that gap in. But also then it means that person's level or role that they play and their voting also affect how you allocate the work, because the work, you see this percentage that you provided to me should be based on the contribution of how much each of those contribute into the business. And I know the mistake that you guys made, you allocated the shareholding before knowing the contribution of each individual person. And that's a common mistake again. So again, you're gonna need to figure out how you will fix that going forward. It needs to be fixed. Because if it doesn't get fixed, it will end up being an area for dissolving your business at some point. So once you have worked that out, your job descriptions need to be worked on. You then also need to make sure there's a director's contract, employment contract, which articulate key deliverables per year in terms of performance. And every month we should be evaluating how we're doing, and then annually and every 6 months be reassessing based on the strategy. So I can't wait to have you on the strategy sessions. So you're gonna start having, what are the KPIs that I will use to measure whether we're moving towards our goals or not. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this.
The light is finally coming through. I can see.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Good. That's why you are in training, right? That this is not a training of lecture room. This is a training of implementing, is the training of, oh, that is what I should have done. Okay, what should I then do? What's my next, right? It's not just to accumulate notes and files, but it's accumulate the notes and files and a clear action list. Are we good?
Great, thank you.
Great. I'm still a bit sick, so apologies. Lots of love though. But I'm good. I'm all good. I'm so grateful. I'm finally better. So yeah. Okay. What else that we need to work on? Let's see. So please note, this is first at what? At the director level. There is another level. I wish there wasn't, but there's another level, which is what? The shareholding. I've already articulated that the most mistakes that we make is to give shareholding on percentage based on just thumb sucking or not based on the contribution. And I think that's the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs. So my question will be, those who have partners and shareholders or core shareholding, how did you work out that 40%, 80%? Because how you work that out also talk about the risk associated with how transparent and how that also promote accountability. Can I then maybe have some discussion on that?
Okay, from my side, what we worked out is that the percentages of, like for instance, the youth development skills in our operation, how much percentage of the company's revenue can be generated from doing the projects with youth. That's how we got on the 30%, because 70% of our business consists of other skills. It's black soldier flies, it's maritime tourism, it's all kinds of other operations. One thing that we learned from COVID is not to just concentrate on one sector. Because when we started this company, we were only going to do maritime tourism and aquaponic systems. But because of COVID hitting us so hard, we've decided to expand our products, that in case we ever go into a situation like lockdown again, that the one operation of the company can actually financially carry some of the other operations. So that's how we worked out on our percentages. We looked at our youth skills development projects that we do, which is fiberglass work, woodworking, boat building and repairs and stuff like that, which supplements our maritime tourism side. And then also from Veronica's side, being the chief director, she's actually the project manager under operations, was for women-led households, which is our aquaponic home-based systems for rural areas that we're developing. So she will be running a mentorship with supplying these aquaponic systems to the magoks in the township that needs to get extra income out of a full home-based aquaponic system. So we worked on a 40%, on a 30% there also in our business. The other 40% of the business was actually based upon the maritime industry and the black soldier flies.
Okay, hang on. Let me ask this question in a different way. Do you think the way you allocated percentage was correct?
I don't think so, not after this session now. We have to have another meeting. And then, like you said, we must first specify the roles under those three headings. And then we've got to re-look at the input from each director and then work it to a percentage. And don't base our percentage on the revenue from the, I can call it the sector or the enterprise under our company. It must be based on the directorship responsibility and input. So I have a problem there that I need to address.
Okay, so the way you are looking at it, you are looking at it from the point of the market share kind of approach, whereas you don't know how the market will respond to then fit in that 30% you're talking about. Do you understand what I mean? No one,
I understand, Precious,
no,
because we
you
did
can't
this
base
before COVID.
on something that, yeah, even if it's a focus, you can't even base it on that because you don't know how the market will respond, whether the market, it will be soft on that matter or it won't be soft. So what I mean is you might find, so how the industry or the market sees you depends on your brand position, depends on your marketing skills, depends on how you are able to communicate that brand positioning. So, and that has a lot of variables in it. So we should be basing our percentage based on the contribution we make. And the contribution we make may be a capital amount, which is physical cash, or maybe the time. But when it's time, such must be converted to be a rand value based on the market rate of that skill and the contribution. So if I say to you, Esther, you know what, I'm gonna come to your business as a CA, I'm coming in to actually to provide business administration in your business. You gotta need to say, oh, okay, Precious, no problem for you to come as a shareholder, but the stuff that you're gonna do and the value that you're gonna bring into my business, how much is it worth in the open market? Do you understand what I mean? You gonna need it gonna need to be at the arm's length. It's gonna need to be, if a third party were to ask for the same service, how much would that be paid? What's the market rate of that? So I then say, my market rate is 3,500 per hour for the work that I'm gonna do, but here's the work that I'm gonna do as a director and a shareholder. That total activities that I'm gonna do converted to an amount should then be included in the pot. And then another director come with, I'm an engineer, I'm gonna bring the skill, and as an engineer, this work is costing this much in the market, and this is how much is worth. That also goes where? In the basket. And then another person, same thing goes to the basket. We then add up the total of this basket. Let me share the screen. Apologies, I ran out of breath. I think something happened with my chest after this stupid flu. So I'm gonna just, give me a second. Oh, stop sharing. I'm gonna open another document. So, okay, I'm opening up a screen. Okay. Family, are you able to see my screen? The plain Excel spreadsheet?
Yes, we can see it.
Great. So let's just say one person, they've put something, so this is the basket. And a shareholder number one. Oh, Precious. Or should I say course? Okay. And then a shareholder number two. Uvusi. Maybe a shareholder number three. Maybe who's a lawyer. Usizwe. Okay, now we have these shareholders. They have put something on their basket. I'm a CA, then maybe based on the time and the resources and stuff that are the total amount per year I'm gonna put on this thing is about 600, right? Maybe Uvusi is an engineer, said, based on the time and what we need to do in this business in the next 5 years or whatever period or a year, this is how much. Maybe a lawyer, maybe about 450 and so on. Really, the skill set depends on the nature of the business. So let me just make an example again. We are making an example that maybe we want to start a real estate development. We want to develop. And this is our, this guy, Uvusi, is basically an architect. And then Usizwe is a corporate lawyer. And then me, I'm just an accountant and so on. But you see, in this bucket, this is a real estate. How, if maybe we decide to build maybe another business, let's just say another business will be, we want to be in agriculture, for example. My contribution to that business in that basket will not be the same as 600. It will not gonna be the same as Uvusi's 1 million. So each contribution of a director really depends on the nature of that business, which means is the business model of that business, plus number 2, how it will then operate and work, and which will be the main drivers of what will be the main drivers that will make it successful. So this can change for any business. It can have different metrics in it. It really depends on the needs of that business. Now, so in this basket, we have worked out that roughly there's gonna be about 2 million odd. You're then gonna take that and say, let's just what is the percentage that each of us are gonna basically be contributing here. Do you guys are you still with me? And please stop me if maybe I'm going too fast. This is coaching session. I'm
Perfect.
not running. You are in good spirit. Perfect. Great.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so contribution. So, and that is the contribution, right? That's gonna be my contribution. That's gonna be his contribution. That's gonna be his contribution. Now we have the shareholders' contribution. Once we have worked out the shareholders' contribution, and please note, this can be physical cash or it can be time. So it can be even an asset, a physical asset. It could be anything, okay, in this basket. And once you have worked out this contribution, you then do your CM or your CK document, okay, which now will talk to the percentage allocation. But before you've even finalized that, you need to have a shareholders what? Agreement. Now, this is very important, entrepreneurs. The shareholders agreement basically now seal in these things that you guys have mentioned you're gonna do. And I will share with you guys a template of shareholders agreement. It's got a black marks, which means that is where you need to fill your own information on what has been agreed on. Okay, and it's a template that you can use for the shareholders. You do the shareholders agreement, it gets signed, and then you do your CM document, because now the CM document is now making sure that you are now formalizing this arrangement. So agreement first, and then the CK document or CM document to make sure that this is what you guys have agreed on. And then your accountant, you will obviously have done, for you to do all of this, you will have done a resolution, and your accountant will also make sure that in your shareholders contribution and share capital, this is actually recorded properly according to this. Does this make sense?
You make it sound so easy.
It is, my dear.
Very easy. Where were you in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precious, I have a question, Ne?
Yes.
Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we register like your company, and then you have divisions instead of subsidiary companies. So what happens in terms of, if, let's say in my business, I have it's a holding company, for example, and then I just have divisions, but they're not formally registered as subsidiaries, they're just divisions. And then I appoint different people as directors of those divisions. If, let's say, on the holding company, I'm the sole owner, I own 100% shares. And then now I just appoint somebody to facilitate maybe different divisions. In terms of, like Esther was saying, that if you've got one company, but you've got 3 directors, and then if you are going to expand, how then will the shareholding allocation be if our contribution is different for different projects?
Apologies, I'm with you. Give me a second.
Okay.
So, first of all, Mule, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Great. This applies on the shareholding of the company. It does not apply when you have a substructure like yourself for divisions.
Okay.
What you have done,
So,
so what it means is, either you can have directors. Directors don't need to be shareholders. You can have directors, and these directors, you share either revenue or profit sharing, depending on the model that you have adopted. A model that you have adopted will only though be limited to that specific division.
Okay.
So let's just say you then have created a division. So I always prefer to use my example. So I'm planning to enter into real estate, right? But within a real estate division, there is different there's different strategies and different models. So my first model is development, right? So we are developing land, which is what we call it, green projects, right? And then number 2 is let me property development, right? And then number 2 is investment property, which then is rentals, right? Number 3 is so this one is for rent, and then this one will be flip stock, or should I invent? So do you see, we have a division, but this division has a clear strategy to do 3 things. I can have partners at this level. I can have partners or even directors at this level. Do you see that?
Yes.
Because each of these needs different skills and different time and resources. But when then I share my profit, I share them at the project level or at that engagement level. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay, great. I'm happy. Okay, so my suggestion is, Muli, the most important thing is to say, this is what I want to do, which in this case, we say, I want to go to real estate. Okay, what do you want to do in the real estate environment? I want to do property development. I want to do flipping of properties. I want to do another one. Maybe you will say, I want to do, rental, buy to rent, right? So those are the strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have worked out, you then say, okay, under property development, who do I need to be on my team? What is the most critical set of skills do I need? Skills and experience. What's the core competence that will make that to be successful? You list those, then you find professionals that actually are in that, then you partner with those professionals in that based on what they can contribute and what you can contribute. Having a great idea means nothing. It's the execution of the idea that matters. Are we good?
Yes.
You sound done.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
No,
hitting
I'm
something
getting
that's
it's sinking in.
It makes perfect sense to me, Precious, because I've also got, my company is the holding company and I've got different divisions. But where my problem lies, I was always under the impression directors must be shareholders as well.
no.
So I can actually now just let them just appoint more
that specific
directors to
project.
take.
Yes, in that
Yeah.
specific project, and say, okay, based on what you're gonna do, that this makes up this amount. Based on what you this is make, then after they're done, you're dealt with, they're gone. That's it. That's the end of it.
Yes,
So
that
you
makes
can-
perfect sense.
You can actually make even your directors to time. That is why directors need to have a contract in place, right?
That's why I will be implementing the employee contracts as well.
Because
That
it's
is-
tied back
this
to
is-
the deliverables.
This is so enlightening. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming to the training. There is so much to share, guys. There is so much to work on. But we're going to just pace ourselves, focus on the things that matters the most. And we're going to also change the way we think about things. And I hope this is going to make you think differently about how you do things. Because when you start changing that, it's then going to change even your success metrics. Guys, we fail not because of the system. We fail because we don't know enough about the problem we are trying to solve. And even when we know enough about that problem, we don't have the right tools. Even when we have the right tools, we don't believe we actually can get it. You know, we're almost like self-sabotaging ourselves into the system. And that's why we struggle with success. I want you from today to start believing and knowing the 100 millions that you have in your dreams, are possible. They are possible. But they're only possible to the extent you are willing to learn from your mistake and the mistakes of others, but you are willing also to do things differently than people before you, than other people also in your environment. Does that make sense?
Very much.
Absolutely.
Great. So, plan of action, once we have sorted out the shareholders staff, we have also sorted out the deliverables. We then start having monthly or quarterly meetings to monitor how we're performing, and also to see ways of how we're going to self-correct ourselves. That is why in your shareholders agreement, even in your contract of on the shareholders agreement, you're going to need to have the arbitration clause, which then allows, when there is disagreement, you can then bring the arbitrator to assist you guys to resolve the matters. So just to share some of my experiences, I have been called as an arbitrator several times to assist directors and shareholders to come to some sort of working arrangement. What I have found has been the reason why we fight is because when we get into relationships with people, whoever those people are, we do not treat it as a relationship the way you will treat it in your personal life. So I say shareholders' relationship is very much the same as you deciding you're gonna marry someone. It's the same thing. Which means you're gonna need to have some courting kind of thing, dating process. You're gonna need to have some screening process. You know, you're gonna need to have, and you can't have a screening process when you don't even know what you're gonna do and what skill set are you looking for into the market. Because you're gonna end up accepting any Tom and Dick and Harry. Hey, and Tom and Dick and Harry, hey, bazimbungulu ngesizulu. You know, and they will suck the heck out of your energy and your blood and everything and take you for a ride. And then one day you're gonna wake up 3-4 years down the line, you are nowhere close to your goals and what you had initially set up. You are busy with squabbles. You are busy. You know, it's what Oprah says very well, that you should stop flying with pigeons if you're an eagle. If you're an eagle, behave like an eagle and stop playing around with pigeons. So if and that talks to how you're gonna select your partners, how you're gonna select the people that are gonna walk with you in this. This is gonna be one of your toughest journey that you will ever choose in your life. But it's the most rewarding. That is why it's the most hardest. But who you choose to be on your bus can either make you or break you. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we make as entrepreneurs is not choosing the right directors, the right shareholders. I know that also from my own personal experience. I generally choose, I get excited, right? And I choose people. Also, I get excited and choose people during the honeymoon, or should I say during the dating, During the dating season, I don't wait until the first fight, you know, the second fight and the third fight, you know, kind of thing. And I think at the beginning, that is one of the mistakes I made. But also from that, then also create systems and processes on how to then deal with it. Should that happen, how then we will deal with it. So yeah, so I don't want to take you through memory lane of sharing some of the stories, but what I'm highlighting to you is that you better look in the mirror, see who you want to be. You might see yourself and say, but Precious, when I go to the mirror, I don't like what I see. There's this, there's that. And I am saying to you, yes, we all work in progress. Look and see what is in your heart then. Look deeper and see what is in your heart. And pull what is in your heart out in your journal. Do your journal. Pull what is inside of yourself. And put that dream in your face. That dream must be clear every day. You see, let me share this. Do you see? That's my dream. I look at that dream every day as I'm sitting in my desk. So make your dream to be like in your face. Make your dream to be non-negotiable. Make your dream to be absolutely something that you are choosing. Because you see, when you choose your dream every day, you are choosing you every day. But when you do not choose your dream every day, you're choosing everything else except you. So as you are looking into that and looking in the mirror, yes, you're not going to like what you see. You see, you may not like, but look at what is in the heart. Write down what is in the heart. Make it to be visible. Make yourself accountable to it. Read it daily. Read it to almost change the way you think about things, not just by reading, but then be the student. Be ready to be a student of that thing. So in my list is making myself to be a student in learning on how to pursue that goal. So that, because until I have mastered the knowledge and the experience and the skill of achieving that thing, I will then be in the right position to do the right things at the right time and behave the way the person who achieved that goal will behave. And that will change my identity. You see, some of us want to achieve goals that do not look anything like the person who achieved that goal, until you have changed your identity to suit the person who achieved that goal we're playing. It's like someone saying, hey, I want to make $1 million. But their behaviors and their habits, their identity, igumasente, iguma thousands, there is no way you'll be a millionaire. When you think in thousands, you're gonna need to think in millions. You're gonna need to work in millions. Your action, your beliefs, your thoughts, how you're doing things. Okay, now, number 3. I am saying to you on number 3, you're gonna need to change the way you see yourself. You can't see yourself based on what you see in your physical mind when you look at the mirror. You gotta need to see a better version of self. And every day, pretend and work as though you're already that better version of self. And accept that every day you need to reflect and ask yourself, was I the best of that version, or was I regressing? Because sometimes we do regress. And then you make a note of that again, and then you say, okay, what can I improve? Focus on that 1% every day. What can I improve? What does this mean for me? Spend more time thinking than doing. And I just want to emphasize this. Please, I hope those who join late, they are having notebook, because I said to you guys, please, you're gonna need to have a notebook, because there's lots of actions that I'm gonna share here. What do I mean? I need you to really come back and engage with me. Who get paid the most? Is it the person who think, or is it the person who does? Let me see your views, entrepreneurs. Anyone want to give it a try? Louise, according to your assessment, anywhere in the world, do you get paid to do, or do you get paid to think? Who get paid the most? Kensani has given it a shot and said, the person who thinks. Yep. Who else wanna support it or wanna say different, has a different view? Mule?
I support Kensani, the one who thinks.
But how much time as entrepreneurs do we spend time planning and thinking? In your 24 hours, where do you spend most of your time? I need you to reflect on that. And you
yes.
And you end up being busy for the sake of being busy. Yeah? What do you have to say, Mule?
I think on my side, it was a decision that I took, I think in 2019, because I saw that, yes, in terms of generating revenue, I was generating revenue, but I did not have systems in place for sustainability. And that's one thing that I decided to put everything on hold, to say I'll continue doing what I've been doing, but I need to invest more time in learning about the industry that I'm in, and learning a lot of things in terms of management of business operations, and just to have an understanding, because if you've got systems, it's easy to implement, it's easy to do. If you've got processes, it's easy to execute. So that's one of the things that really has made me to take every opportunity that I get, especially where there are courses that will actually benefit me and my business. I really take opportunity on that, and I make sure that I allocate time for that, because I know it will help me in the long run.
Amazing. But it's because when you looked in the mirror, you saw that what was in your heart was bigger than what you have. There was a gap.
Yes.
Some of us as entrepreneurs, we don't even know there's a gap. We don't even take time to think, okay, if there's a gap, how the heck do I fill it in, right? And then we attract all these Tom and Dick and Harry who have no clue, because you yourself have no clue. and you find yourself in rooms, guys, I've been in meetings where I looked at the person as the person was talking, and I was listening and just said, God, what have I done to myself? Because this entrepreneurship space, guys, has no screening process. Ayina limit. Uzohlangana nabantu, they say something else until you start really listening very closely, and then you realize, heck no. Guys, I've been in rooms and I am listening. I literally felt like, is this all the 10 years of studying have amounted me to? And in other rooms, I really had to excuse myself. In other rooms, I didn't excuse myself. I sat there wishing and praying somebody will just pull me out of it and like say there's an emergency, someone will rescue me. Because in other rooms, I was so in it that it was even difficult even to come out. And one of the reasons for me was because I had never set a clear picture of who my customer was and who was my partner was. I therefore allowed the bar or the gate to be too open for anyone to then approach me or to say or to bring me into a board kind of thing. So you gotta need to set a very clear picture. Who do I need to be a shareholder, and what level, and what percentage I'm willing to give, what percentage I'm not willing to give? Who will I want to have as a shareholder, at what percentage, and what skill set, And for customers, again, who do I want to be my customer? For what? At paying how much? So that when I speak, someone says that to me something about an opportunity, ngisho upfront, ngingasabi ukuthi hayi bondoda, are you gonna be able to pay my bills? Because if the answer is no, I can't help you. Move on. And I think those were my biggest mistakes. And you shouldn't go through the same. Yes, Wagan?
Yeah.
Okay, let me use the last 30 minutes. Have you guys checked your emails? You should have received now that checklist, the business checklist. Please check your emails. Guys, check, please. Who has not done the assignment? Hayi phela entrepreneur kwasekuthuleka kangaka manje. Entrepreneurs, guys.
Haven't received the emails yet.
Okay.
There's no emails yet on my side.
No problem. Have you guys done your quiz on compliance?
Yes, we did.
Who has not
Submitted
done it?
last night.
Who has not done it? Okay, done. Okay. Oh, who has not done it? Okay, let me.
Was it posted on the group, on the WhatsApp group?
No,
It's the assignment.
the assignment.
The 12th.
Oh no,
the
the
12th
assignment,
question.
yes, I do have.
Those are the 12 questions, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Please, Mule, check your. Oh, you said you have done it, Mule.
Yes.
Okay, great. Kensan, you're saying you have not done it. Have you checked your emails? Have you been following the program? Are you using fresh LSM or are you using just straight up? How did you guys find the questions?
Slightly tricky.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit tricky.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you want us to go through the assignment questions then?
Yes, that will be great, actually. I just want to gauge my understanding.
Okay, sure. Okay, I need to get the questionnaires. Let me get Denise. Give me a second. Okay. Now, Esther, remember I requested that we, a few seconds, I want to speak to Denise so that we can go through the questions. 1 second. I'm back. Okay, so she's gonna send through and then we're gonna discuss it. Guys, do you have any questions? I've said a lot of things. Any reflection? Can we reflect before we move on the next task of going through the assignment? What's your views? I remember I said to you guys, I'm gonna say things that you don't want to hear, and I'm also gonna say things that are gonna make you cry. I've made men cry and women cry, and my aim here is not to be liked, but my aim is to speak truth. My aim is to get you to be inspired to do your best, your level 100% best in everything you do. My aim is for you to have a light that says, you know what, this is becoming more clearer, because the more clarity you get, the more it's going to be easier also to maneuver in this journey of entrepreneurship and success that you're looking for. And the aim is for me to provide a light of what I've seen works, what doesn't work. And being liked it's a list of my like it doesn't even feature. And I know sometimes people say, but Precious, I have to like you to do what you're asking me to do. I said, no, you don't have to like me. Actually, I prefer when you hate me, because then you're gonna say I'm gonna prove it right, you know, kind of thing. So, and I know I will step on your foot, but it's all with the intention to make sure that by you having attended this program, you are never going to be the same person for the rest of your life. Are we clear about our terms of engagement? And I did articulate these terms of engagement on our orientation, right?
Yes.
Great. So let's reflect. What do you think about the things that I've said so far?
Before the reflection, can I just ask something just to make sure that I understood you? You said that directors they do not necessarily have to become shareholders. So in terms of shareholding, is it allowed for me to say I can appoint directors, but when it comes to shareholding, I say I have 100%? Or there needs to be a distribution?
Please repeat your question again. Maybe I'm misreading what you're saying.
Okay, if let's say I have a company, then appoint directors, but in terms of shareholding, I retain the full 100%.
Okay.
Am I allowed to do that? Or I need to
Mule, wait. It means you still have there's certain information that you have not figured out. So I'm a shareholder, Mule. They get rewarded through dividends.
Okay.
I'm a directors. They get rewarded through salary or board fees.
Okay.
Or directors' fees. Do you see the difference?
Okay.
So when I then now I am I'm choosing to give the directors, I will give them the salary because that is what they are supposed to be paid based on. Whereas me as a shareholder, I get the dividends.
Okay.
Okay. What do you mean, Mpande? Come through. Come through, Mpande. Let's hear you, my brother. What do you mean?
I mean, after all this
Education.
talking on compliance and education, I think I must go back to the cipc for rehabilitation and do things formally. That was all that I was thinking. Yes.
I'm sure the others, they feel the same. Maybe I lend the book, sign a document, singazi ukuthi sign.
And that is true because especially at CIPC, we just go and we register and they just say sign here, sign here, sign here. And you discover later that actually I shouldn't have done this because I had a friend, she registered a company and then she had 2 other people as directors as well. And then now in terms of their MOU, they signed the generic one that the IPC provides. And then one of the partners, the spouse died. And then now it's a case, it's at court now because now the hubby is saying, my wife had a share in this. So now I'm the director and I can make the final decision. So I'm saying we need to sell the company. And they're very at an advanced stage. So it's some of the things that we really need to take into consideration, especially when signing this kind of document.
Oh my, you see, it's
about choosing partners.
Yes, it talks to also that when you in your shareholders agreement, you see if she had done a shareholders agreement but made sure that on the shareholders agreement it is clear that if any of the members ceased or is incapacitated, the shares go to the other director at the cost of the contribution that person had made. So which means at that, the calculations we did at the beginning when we were saying at the cost, yes.
So now it's just a mess. So
and that is why it's important important that even when you have directors, the directors, you all and the shareholders, make sure that each shareholder has a will. And in their personal will, they actually have, they're articulating the same thing that you have put on your shareholders agreement. Does that make sense? So you basically have the shareholders agreement, yes, but make sure that the director who is in your agreement, they have put the similar wording onto their will. Because hey, hey, the skeletons come haunting us. I'm waiting for it. My inbox is just taking forever. Okay. Okay, let me open. Hey guys, I got a job. Yeah. The job in this entity that I am in, the job that I am, my inbox is full, like literally, I literally have to buy a new laptop. Give me a second. Because my inbox is full, it gets so full. Okay, I guess it's a good thing, but yeah, it's job. I'm still waiting for Denise to just send me, but I'm gonna share the screen of the content. Are you guys able to see this? Yay. Okay. So what was your answer here? Let's see. Guys, come on. What was your answer here? Between A up to B, C, D. What was your answer?
C.
The answer
The first
is
one.
C. Great. Nice. Okay. Number two.
Oh, was it only one answer?
Yeah, it was only one answer.
Huh.
Oh, yes, there is. Hang on. There is a second answer is B.
Yes.
Yes, because a juristic person is an entity. An entity, a director can't be an entity. A director has to be a person, a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, yeah, it's B and C. Okay, and then number two.
C.
Answer is C, gross less exemption. So here is taxable income. So the answer is A.
Okay.
Because remember, exemption is the things that do not qualify to be included in the income. So for example, at a personal level, we have something which we call interest rebates. So when you have, it's the ones that are tax-free. Have you heard about tax-free interest schemes?
Yes.
Yeah. So those would
community.
qualify under exemptions. They don't get to be part of, considered for taxable income. Okay. Okay, so the answer for here is A. And then number three.
Once a year.
Answer is?
V.
The answer is B, yes. To be a provisional taxpayer, it means you're gonna pay taxes at least twice in advance during the year of assessment, okay? At least twice. There are instances where you might actually even pay 3 times, okay? But at least twice, okay? Okay, and then number 4.
B and C.
Who pays VAT?
Oh, C.
C.
See, yeah.
Registered VAT vendors. Okay. Registered vendor, which means that you can't charge VAT when you are not a VAT vendor. Okay. Okay, number 5. When is it compulsory to register for VAT?
B.
Yes,
Yes.
the answer is B. Great. However, you can voluntary. Remember, this is compulsory. Register if you are importer and exporter, or you've generated at least 50K. Okay. Okay. Labor relations. What's the answer here? Number 6.
A.
A. Great. Good work. 7.
B.
The answer is B. Are
B.
you sure?
Yes, because it says that anyone who is working more than 24 hours a week.
Okay, let me double check. I don't even have the answers myself for this. I did this so long time ago.
It's excluding.
Yeah, it says excluding. So I'm just going straight to
B.
UIF guide on who it exclude. 1 second. Oh, I'm in the wrong document, sorry. Okay, so 1, the exclusion is when employee works less than 24 months. Number 2 is when it's a national or provincial government. Number 3 is public office. I'm a president, executive mayors and councils, I guess. And that's an exclusion we have. I'm double checking also the amendment. There has been several amendments on this. Okay.
And they all on contract.
Who is all on contract?
All the list that you mentioned.
No,
People.
Oh no, they are not. They are just excluded in terms of the legislation. They are not excluded because they're all they are temporal workers. Yeah. Okay. So who is excluded? I'm gonna just copy and paste it on our chat box. Are you guys still able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So based on what, let me stop sharing here. Let me check here and paste. Based on the legislation, is a worker who worked less than 24 months. It's a public servant, is foreigners working on contract, and its employees in receipt of an old age home, old age pension. And Yeah, those are the people that are excluded. So what is our answer here? Share again.
I think it's B.
Then your answer is B. Okay. And we said the answer for C was A. And for 5, it was C. Okay. I mean, it was B. Sorry. 5 was B. Okay. Number 8, MP201 is payment declaration, which employer must declare following what?
I think it's C.
Yes.
That's C as well.
The C, great. And then number 9.
A.
Mhm.
Great job, number 8. 10.
I got the C, if I'm not sure.
Great job. Yes. ITR 14 is the annual return is C. And then how often is COIDA filed? Come on, guys. We're almost there.
I got the B as in weekly because there's a part where I saw 7 days when the employee, the first 7 days of employing somebody or something like that.
No, this is COIDA.
No.
It's annually. The stuff that needs to be done by the 7th day is the payment of this EMP201. So you'll do the MP201 and then pay within 7 days, okay?
Okay.
It's COIDA annually. Okay, year N19, how often is this done?
Monthly.
Monthly.
Great. Good job. So why you guys were stressing? You know all the answers. Why are you stressing? You see, it's because you don't know that you don't know. You don't know that you don't know, but you're already killing your confidence in thinking, and maybe I'm not gonna get it right, you know.
Please.
Okay, you guys did well. Thank you so much for completing that. I have shared, Denise has already emailed you guys the has already shared with you guys. Please double check and make sure you got the email.
He posted the link to the checklist on the WhatsApp group.
Perfect. Great. So you guys work on that and let me know if you need any support when you're not clear what that is. And you remember, it's sent to you as Excel spreadsheet for you to update and amend and stuff. Right? And customize it for your environment. Okay.
Okay, we'll have a look at it.
Great. Have a look and implement, right, Kia? Implement. Okay, guys. Do you have anything that you want to say? We left with 4 minutes.
No, I think I'm fine on my side.
What did you learn today? One second.
Well, the shareholding part of it and also the structure. So in my finding employees for my business, I need to have a look at the structure and just make sure where do the skills under administration, there must be somebody under business development, there must be somebody in operations, and also to draft contracts, employee contracts and job descriptions as well, so that there should not be any gray area when it comes to whoever will be hired.
And even if there is a gray area, it can't be a gray area in every aspect. It might be a gray area in that specific area. That is why there's arbitration process. That is why also there's something which we call cool-off periods, right? And so on. There's lots of mechanism within our legislation in terms of the constitution that allows you, if you have entered into an agreement with someone, to come out of it, right? But
Okay.
shouldn't sit in relationships which are not serving you.
True. Okay.
But you deserve better. You are worth more. Start believing that and start working towards that. So anyone you're gonna meet has to actually live by that values also, okay? Thank you for sharing. Who else?
Hi everyone. I think I've learned a lot about thinking about things before actually wanting to start, because I had a problem with wanting to start something without actually really thinking about it. Thank you.
Perfect. Because you are paid more to think than to do. Just remember that. Louisa, anything else? Closing remarks? Did we lose Louisa? Okay, Esther? Esther?
Thank you very much, Precious. We've learned very much today, and I'm looking forward to the session with the tax practitioner. The rest, I think, is all clear, and there needs to be a lot of changes made in my company, which I'm starting to address from this minute. So thank you very much for all your input and your time. We appreciate you.
Great, thank you, lots of love. Say, Mpande, hi, closing remarks, Tabang?
Yes. Me, I've learned that as a director, you need also to have an agreement with the company and formalize things going forward. Yes, thank you, Precious.
Great, asizurana ngathi sirana amaspaza shop, right? The ins and going are just up and down. We're gonna need to, you see, if you want the world to take you serious, we're gonna need to be serious, okay? Thank you so much, team. We are using the same link, so you can then exit. I'm not gonna exit. I will keep accepting the next group so that people don't get confused. Thank you so much. Mule, Tabang, Mpande, Kia, Hester, and Louisa. Kensani, maybe consider coming in for a few minutes, stay in, because you lost, I think, half of the session. Thank you. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Kensani, we are starting CC at 10:30. How is your time today?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I'll be available at 10:30.
No problem. So what I'm gonna do for the recording, I'm gonna end this session and save it, and then I'll start another link or for this session, for the session at past. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, love. Bye.